Hi and welcome back to Broadsheet Sydney Around Town. If it's your first time here, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss a video. I'm Emma Joyce, features editor at Broadsheet, and I host this short guide to Sydney. Let's get into it. So Broadsheet's Grace Mackenzie is joining us today because we're going to talk about a new Taphouse that's opened up in Marrickville along an already really popular stretch of places you can go on an Inner West brewery crawl. I visited at the weekend and it's a really cute little Taphouse from Kicks Brewing, who I have to admit I wasn't that familiar with beforehand. So Grace, who is behind Kicks?
Kicks is run by Brendan and Jess Ibbott, who are a husband and wife duo. And previously to opening the tap room, they were just stocked in bottle-os. So you wouldn't have, had a chance to sip them from a tap.
Yeah, I definitely haven't before. I tried like a rice beer and it was light and refreshing and lovely. And I also sat in kind of a nice winter sun trap, basically, in the front. Now let's talk about what this looks like, because when I walked up to it, I kind of felt like it had the minimalism of maybe a juice bar. It kind of has that vibe to it. It doesn't necessarily look like some of the other more maybe industrial breweries nearby.
Yeah, it's super pared back, like nice high ceilings is typical in like the converted warehouse spaces. But then they've got the walls done in like blonde timber, along with like tables and chairs to match.
I know they have like maybe a selection of 10 or so beers. What are they known for? What's Kicks known for?
Brendan, who is the head brewer, he is really inspired by like big American IPAs, but he also likes to keep them, he likes to keep the range fresh and like kind of fun. They're really big on being approachable for everybody. So there's sours, there's IPAs.
I wish I'd tried one of the beers that we've kind of mentioned in Broadsheet's story, which I think has some coffee infused with it as well. And that feels like the kind of beer I would really enjoy tasting.
It's called Polarity. And after they've fermented the beer, they add whole roasted coffee beans, which just like adds really nice flavor. Brendan actually said that if you are a true coffee fan, it's definitely one that you can't go past.
So you can also get a tasting paddle of 4 beers, and I think you can choose any of them. So apart from Polarity, which sounds like something I would definitely want to add to that tasting paddle, what else is there that we should maybe be thinking about adding?
The lineup changes month to month, and I think it's the same with the tinnies. So all of the beers that they make are limited releases. At the moment, they've got the Full Nelson, which is a West Coast IPA. I think it's a bit fruity and is made with some Nelson Sauvignon hops, which adds like almost like a wine flavor to the beer. Yeah.
Now, you've mentioned the tinnies that they've created, and I feel like we should talk about them because not only can you take them away from the tasting room, but also Jess, so one half of the duo that kind of run this, she's a designer by trade, and I think she's created all of the different labels. Is that right?
Yeah, she does all of the graphic design for the tins, and they're quite beautiful. It's obvious that somebody with like a close relationship with the brand has like done each of the designs. I almost wouldn't want to crack the tins because then, they're on their way to the bin. But they're so beautiful. And I think it's like a real key part of what they're doing.
So we went maybe about lunchtime on a Sunday and had like a packet of chippies, but they don't really have food on the menu at this place.
Yeah, so like they haven't got any food, but you can just Uber Eats from any of the amazing restaurants that are like close by. There's the newest Lox in a Box just up the road.
Yes.
So yeah, if you head in on the weekend, grab a bagel and some potato latkes, bring them in.
It's also really close by to lots of other places. They've got Grifters around the corner, Wildflower is close by. So you could incorporate it into a bit of a crawl if you wanted to. So you can find Kicks Brewing at 31 Shepherd Street in Marrickville. We're going to talk today about a new place that you can go to, which is kind of part record store, part bar in Dulwich Hill. And it's opened in the former venue of the sausage factory. It's also opened by the guy who ran the sausage factory with his former partner. So can you tell us about Jim Flanagan?
Yeah. So as you said, Jim owned the sausage factory with his ex-business partner and partner, Chrissy. And he has now totally transformed the space into lazy thinking, which is fusing a few of his passions, mostly music and great food.
Yeah. So Chrissy, we should mention Chrissy Flanagan's gone on to do Chaotic Social, which is a mashup of many different things, but she's also running these kind of meet cute type date things where you can find new friends at a new venue in Petersham. But back to Lazy Thinking, that's the name of his record label. Is that right?
Yeah, so he's run like a small record label that doesn't seem to have had much going on in the recent few years, but it's clear that like this is just something that he really just lives and breathes.
So he sounds like a kind of big music head, and that's why he's kind of created this venue as like part record store, part diner. What kind of food can we get there?
It's going to be lots of little plates, great for sharing, lots of them snacky. You could go in for just like a few bites with a beer, or you could stay for dinner as well.
Beer's a big part of this venue as well. And I know that he's kind of leaning mostly Australian.
Yeah, mostly Australian, mostly Sydney, really local, hyperlocal beers.
Kicks Brewing was on the list that I looked at. Any others that you can mention?
Yeah, they've got One Drop, which is in Botany, and then they've also got Queens of Chaos, which is a beer house that he used to run with Chrissy.
Obviously, you can shop some of the music as well. What kind of music are we talking about?
You can expect to see kind of smaller indie records from every genre. He's a fan of everything, and when you speak to him, it's just clear that he really does just like want to support local artists.
So it's local music, local food, local beer. And I hear that he's also planning on hosting some gigs there.
Yeah, on Sunday Arvos.
So you'll find Lazy Thinking at 380 New Canterbury Road in Dulwich Hill. Thanks so much, Grace, for coming in and telling us all about it. And that's all we have time for today. As always, you can keep up to date with what's happening around Sydney at broadsheet.com.au and on Instagram at broadsheet_Sid. I'll be back next week. Chat then.